Hello friends, I have something that the Lord put on my heart to share with you today that got inspired to me because of the church service yesterday that I went to. I love going to church because I always feel like I get so many downloads from heaven. Now, if you are somebody who goes to church or goes into worship, goes into like Christian coaching, and you feel like you get so many ideas and feel so inspired, I want you to leave a comment here and tell us about it, because I have experienced that so many times, and I just feel so excited that when you get into the presence of God and when you kind of just say, hey, look, I'm gonna let you drive this ship. Show me the way, give me the wisdom. And you are making those decisions, you're getting the right mentors, you're showing up to church, you're getting in the building. When I was there yesterday, I was there with some people that mean so much to me, and there was a guest pastor, and it was just such a blessing of a message, and he was talking about some of his personal testimony. He was sprinkling that in throughout his message, where he was talking about, if you have felt forgotten, if you have felt cast aside, like people have forgotten your name, you do so much for others, you show up for others, yet you don't feel like people show up for you when you need a little bit of support, when you need somebody to listen to you, when you need a shoulder to cry on, you feel like people are just nowhere to be found. And if you reach out to somebody, they're not free. So he was speaking to those people. And it was a very comforting message, because I'm sure that if you're watching this video, you felt that at least once in your life. Well, his message for us was about how Christ never does that. And when we receive Christ and have salvation, we're forgiven from all of our past mistakes, and also the shame and the guilt that comes along with it. Jesus breaks that off of us. And that's why you hear over and over again, people talk about after they got saved, they felt this level of peace, and I just feel so peaceful and light in my spirit, because Jesus washed away the sins of the world. And he helped me make that connection yesterday, the pastor, that you can have sinned and ask for forgiveness, and sometimes you have to surrender the guilt and the shame. But I think that sometimes, when you ask for forgiveness and God has forgiven you, that stuff, it gets taken by Jesus right away. One thing that he said, though, that I really thought would bless you guys, was he was talking about how his dad had passed away. He was taken early because somebody hit him after they were drinking behind the wheel, and I was with some people there that somebody had passed in their life in a similar way. And it shook me, because I knew that would mean so much to have that person who has stuck through depression, anxiety. That was part of his testimony. He wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to continue doing the work that God set out for him to do. The enemy came after his mental health so hard. But he stood up there and he told them about what he had been through in his life and how God brought him through. And the whole point of this video is that your personal testimony has the power to save thousands. So think about that and go to the Lord. He may want you to share your testimony. Maybe on TikTok, maybe on another social media platform, maybe in a small circle of friends in a Bible study. Sharing your testimony has so much power, and it's scary because we feel like sharing that part of our past can be embarrassing and makes us vulnerable. But if you surrender those fears to the Lord and say, Lord, I know that this can probably help another. Let God use you to further his kingdom and save some people. And he's put that on my heart years ago to do so, and how God brought me out of a disordered relationship with food, and how that was just such a big freedom because I was addicted to that behavior. But what if your testimony reaches somebody because they've been through something so similar that from before this day, before they heard your testimony, they didn't even take faith, they didn't take Christ, they didn't take God seriously because nobody could speak to them in a way that was relatable. Just like that pastor did yesterday, and was relatable to, I'm sure, many people, not just the people that I was with, but I'm sure that he touched many people's lives by sharing that vulnerable part of his life that maybe isn't easy to share. So I pray that the Lord convicts you and touches you on your testimony, and he puts it heavy on your heart to share in the right place. Friends, let yourself be used by God. It's one of the most rewarding things you can do. I love you, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye.